Are you building, is Uber in the market and you're building Lyft, right? Or are Uber and Lyft in the market and you're building full self-driving taxis, right? At the end of the day, everyone's trying to get from point A to point B, right? But those are wildly different businesses that if you're just building the next Uber, if there's one Uber and you're just going to take some of their market share versus building a completely different model that still solves the same problem, but in a completely different way. And so I think you need to be really clear as an entrepreneur which one of those you are, because it massively impacts how you go to market. In your branding. And so to that piece, I wish we had a silver bullet on how to solve that. The only thing I can tell you is we just are very active out trying to get the awareness out there. Podcast is a great example, but we do as much education as humanly possible via social, via media, via press release, partnerships, podcast videos. I've got a podcast called Security Shorts with Scott. And all of that is just in the effort to get customers a little bit more used to this idea that there's a different way of doing managed security services. A different way. We had a customer the other day that literally goes, man, it's hard to cut through the MSSP noise, but I love you guys' model. And it's the first time I've actually heard it. That's really the struggle, right? So we are constantly looking for new routes to drive engagement and awareness so that we can get this message out of there's a different way to solve your programmatic security problems.
Yeah, like you explained, like the capturing market share from somebody else who's a bigger player versus creating an entire category of service, which is a lot different to do. And like you said, you have to be investing into creating awareness for the problem, then for your brand, and then ultimately that leads to customers. So can you share a little bit about how you've mentioned a bunch of different things that you do in podcast, content creation, appearing on other people's shows and things of that nature? How is that actually panning out to be business? Is there anything you're doing proactively to say there's definitely an uplift in terms of our brand recognition or the inquiries that are coming through our website or anything like that? How are you measuring some of those efforts today?
Yeah, so the way we break it down to keep it super practical is there's inbound via awareness. So this is somebody goes to our website and says, oh, this looks interesting. And I think the key piece there, at least on our side, is we have a very focused, very clearly defined way we go about doing marketing, which is transparency. As far as I know, we are one of the only security products, let alone services, that actually offers pricing on our website. You can literally go in there and you can put in what you have and how you're set up, and we will generate out indicative pricing that's relatively accurate.